Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to part 3 of the Final Fantasy VI Let's Play. In this part, we're heading to Mount Kolts. But before then, new enemies. Well, more new enemy.
Fucking hell, Rhinotaur!
Rhinotaur! Rhinotars are really nothing spectacular, unless you hit them with Ice Magic, in which they counter with Megavolt.
Yeah.
You can confuse them as well. You can steal a tonic from them, but their rare steal is a Mithril Claw.
That sounds potent.
That is Sabin's next weapon after his default. Unfortunately, it is a rare steal, and rare steals are kind of a bitch in 6.
Hey, they weren't any better in 5.
Yeah. I think how it works is that when you steal something, you see, I got the common steal, so you can't steal anything else from Minotaur. When you're stealing something, and it's a successful steal, 7 out of 8 times it's the common steal. So you got a 1 out of 8 chance on successful steals to get the rare steal.
Yeah.
So if you think that's worth it, go for it. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal. I figured I'd just let you guys know anyway.
Right. It's not going to be till 9 where we're going to waste tons of footage on that. Welcome to part 386 of the Final Fantasy IX playthrough. Matthew still hasn't stolen the goddamn demon mail from Tantarian.
One day. I say day because it's not going to happen now. Anyway, so you noticed that in last part in South Figaro, I didn't really go out of my way to buy hats for every character. I bought a plumed hat for Edgar, but I didn't equip Terra or Locke with anything.
That's well, I can't blame you with Terra. I mean, you don't want to get that hair ruined.
Yeah, it is a nice shade of turquoise.
Green. That's turquoise? That looks green.
I always classify it as turquoise. You can call it green if you want. Either way, I like it more
turquoise
than
is like a light blue kind of thing.
So anyway, I'm speeding up because stealing from brawlers is a son of a bitch. And that's another reason, and that's the reason why I didn't buy any hats for Locke and Terra. You can steal bandanas from brawlers. Much better hats.
I find it utterly disgusting that the pervert gets a pike that expends from his groin.
Hello, ladies. You want to see my pike? If you touch it, it extends. And deals 98 damage, sorry.
No, it does 69 damage.
Watch out!
Received Guardian?
Yeah, that's a new knife for Locke.
Is that increased defense like the Defender one?
You know what? We got a glimpse of the stats there. I didn't see any yellow numbers on defense. I just saw attack go up. Some weapons do have different properties. It always does good to look at the secondary stats of the weapon if you don't see it immediately upon equipping it. But a little hidden passageway gives you access to the Atlas Armlet Relic. Just increases physical strength, which is something Edgar can use in addition to his auto crossbow. So now he's doing more damage. And we got new enemies here. These are Tuskers. Tuskers are really nothing all that fancy, but they do have one nasty attack, and it's Gore. And pretty much a really strong physical attack. They're weak to fire, though. So, you can do that there. Hey, he didn't like that. May I remind you, he wasn't confused when he did that.
It was the equivalent of 2 deers clashing heads.
2 pigs fighting over a milk dud.
That's petty shit. And worst of all, that's not a milk dud, that's just a rabbit turd. Now this theme, I think, kind of repeats a bit, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, there are a lot
Son of a bitch, Shadow.
Shadow. Could it be Shadow?
No, I think it's Dark Edgar.
They could fight our inner demons by climbing this mountain.
I don't like the look of these monsters.
I never got an understanding of what the fuck they are.
They're plant monsters.
Are they?
Yeah.
I got bacteria more than anything else.
No, they're plant monsters, but they look like they were just drawn like a few lines or brush strokes. They just had like a brush stroke kind of thing where it's pretentious katakana.
There you go. I think it was Tetsu Nomura who was the monster designer in this game.
You know what? I will say this about him. Even despite that one monster, he really does great monster design work.
I agree. The guy really knows how to draw beasts and just threats. But I agree. Latrilium is like, here's an open canvas, here's a paintbrush, go at it. Got any music? Da 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 da.
Would have been more fitting if it was Torador. By the way, ever since the Five Nights at Freddy's review you did, that's when I realized where I heard Torador before. That was fucking funny. And what the hell did they just do?
Alright. I inflicted confusion on all of them when Noise Blaster does that. When the birds are confused, I forgot their names because the Noise Blaster prompt is Serpius. When they're confused, they will start using their hidden attacks, which is Beak, which induces petrification, and they also have access to Break, which is the same thing. I don't know how long it takes for them to start using that against you. I never had them use break or beak against me, though, so take that for what you will. But it's really easy to abuse when you confuse them. It's one of my favorite things to do when you're fighting a really big group of enemies like that.
Apparently, there's some splitting headaches.
Yeah. They're called fighting whooshes. And, well, really, I think 10 was
They did a number on Terra.
Yeah, 10 was the last one to have it.
No,
No, 13 had it.
13 had it when you ran into them.
Yeah. But I was like, 12 didn't have any. It was seamless. For the most part, I believe, right? Well, did 12 have any fighting whooshes at all?
12 had no fight whooshes.
No fighting whooshes.
Everything was done in kind of real time.
Yeah. Well, you see, a fighting whoosh only, I think, applies more to like 7.
Yeah.
And 8 and 9, where it was actually a little whoosh. This is more like...
Yeah, Ted just broke a mirror.
It broke up... No, that's 10.
Yeah, as I said, Ted broke a mirror.
Oh, okay, I thought I said which broke a mirror. No, like 4, 5, and 6 was more like we interrupt this broadcast to bring you a battle. Yeah, this little spiral here is the most annoying part of Mount Kolts because you're definitely going to be running into a lot of random encounters. And the thing about Trilliums is that they can inflict poison.
Yeah, I hate that.
At this point, Terra should know Antidote. If
and
not,
Dot.
Yeah, and Dot. Sorry, what was I thinking? But you can also buy Antidotes from South Figaro. They're not very expensive.
Ow, you fuck!
Or you can buy Star Pendants from Figaro's Relic Shop, too.
That's what I did. I just got sick of... I did it the normal way, like how you played it, but I ultimately got sick of being poisoned, so I ran back, got the Dot armor.
I don't blame you. I poo! The new product from Apple. the new laxative from Apple.
No, Pooh Bear from Apple. Pooh Bear was bought out by Apple.
And what an upgrade! I always like the poses of the bears.
They look like they're throwing up gang signs.
Yeah. Well, they're dropping some sick beats, yo. I poo coming at ya. Anyway, the Ipoos, you have to kill the Ipoos before you can even touch Vargas.
Of course, because let's face it, what are you gonna deal with the martial artist or the fucking bears?
This guy has bears for guards. Fuck yeah. Alright, now we can start fighting Vargas. Vargas is someone you can also steal the Mithril Claw from, but just like the damn Rhinotars, it's a rare steal.
See, here's the thing, and like I said, it's more obnoxious here. If Vargas is supposed to be your equal, can you imagine him having sparring bouts with Sabin? Giant guy over there, little tiny chibi sprite down here.
Yeah, I definitely I understand where you're getting from. It's more of an issue when you play the other games in the series, 3D specifically, where they kept things realistically proportioned when you have the characters against the enemies. It's just, you know, I don't really mind it too much because it was like that when and it's always going to be like that. You can't change it.
Whoa. And Vargas here just committed patricide.
Yeah.
Asshole.
A little, this is all we're going to get from Vargas.
I killed my father.
Yeah, that's about it. And now I'm going to kill you. So Sabin was trained by his master Duncan. Duncan had a son. That's Vargas right there. It's just, I'm not impressed.
Yeah, seriously.
You just blow at us?
Oh.
Vargas resented training under Duncan. You get it. You get that text. You get that flavor text when you're talking to people all over Figaro. And I think so much with Duncan's wife in her house, to the bottom right of South Figaro. But at the same time, Vargas thought Duncan chose Sabin as a successor when it was actually chose Vargas. I don't understand the confusion, honestly. But if Vargas resented Duncan so much, why would he care if Sabin was chosen as his successor if he didn't really want to be involved in the training in the first place?
Same kind of thing about how his son desperately seeks approval from his father kind of thing. It's what could be usually seen as hate is usually just outright desperation at times. It's not always all applicable, but maybe it happened there.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of Vargas, though. It's kind of the whole thing with Duncan.
Or Vargas.
What happens with Vargas stays with Mount Kolts. Yeah, that's the last of Vargas we're ever going to see. Sabin's rival done in with one-two punch.
By the way, blitz commands don't work like traditional commands, which fucked me up the first 2 times. You have to actually input the command right when you select blitz before you choose your target. And they're done like fighting game commands.
That threw me for a loop as well when I first played the game, because I would highlight blitz. and then I'll do the commands.
I would do same. I would actually just put it. I would type it blitz, aim for him, and then try to input the commands.
Yeah. So you'd be surprised if we find out, oh, this is actually not working. This sucks. But yeah, blitz commands. Blitz commands for Sabin is pretty much one giant shout out to Street Fighter, which was really popular at the time of this release. What I did to Vargas there was pummel. You have to do a blitz to Vargas in order to win. Otherwise, they would just exchange back and forth. The first attack Vargas does is Doom Fist, which puts a counter on Sabin. A real lax counter, mind you. So he probably didn't train very well. But Sabin, if you take too long, will tell you how to activate a blitz. It says choose blitz, hit left, right, left, and then hit the blitz command again, and Sabin will do pummel. Pummel is defense ignoring physical attack.
Great.
So you can attack it from the back row. Doesn't do any less damage, and doesn't really matter what the enemy has on him in terms of buffs. Pummel ignores all of that. Suplex is pretty much the same thing. But suplex is a little more elaborate to activate. It's X, Y, down, up. After choosing the blitz command.
Now, the thing about the blitzes, though, is that judging from Sabin's role as a monk and his physical strength, you would presume, hey, maybe I should focus this guy on a physical growth. No, you'll actually want to focus him on magic, because most of Sabin's really good blitzes are magical in nature, and Sabin starts off not so great.
No.
So you want to boost up that magic stat as much as you can.
Yeah.
So it becomes sort of a bit of a balance game when leveling him up. How much do you want to up his physical strength? How much do you want to up his magical strength?
What do you like to focus with Sabin specifically? Do you want him to stay physical attacks?
Honestly, that's the thing, though, because with Sabin, I go 50-50. I know that you should focus on his magic to improve his aura, bolt, and fire dance and stuff like that. But I always have a mage in the party regardless.
Yeah.
Like, if my mages are either Terra, Magic Knight B, or Little Brat C. So, if I have Sabin in the party with any of them, powering up his magic stat feels a bit redundant for me.
I never really focus on magic with Sabin for that very reason alone. Because we're talking magical powerhouses. We got Terra and we got Little Miss Sunshine. We'll get later. Sabin, because of that, I focus strictly on power for Sabin because he can be the most powerful physical character in the game.
That's what I did on my first run.
Yeah, we'll level it up properly. Yeah, there was a nowadays it's actually not the case anymore, but I was a big ass fucking Sabin fanboy.
So was I.
when I was playing 6 for the longest time.
Thing is though, is that you can do it either way, because when you want to focus on his magic is true, but ultimately I remember that, I'm part of a team. So Sabin just goes out there, beats the shit out of people with his fists, and everybody else can do their roles.
This game, well, it wasn't the first game to do it. Final Fantasy IV, we had 5 party members for the entire team. 5 reduced that to 4, and 6 follows suit. Considering the size of the roster 6 eventually gets, and you're going to see it, folks. This game, I think, to this day, still has the largest roster.
It does.
In Final Fantasy history. I kind of wish we were able to utilize that with a bigger party. The fact that you're relegated to 4 kind of feels like a missed opportunity, considering that 4 beforehand allowed you to pick 5.
I would think, again, gameplay limitations with that. Excuse me. Now, here we found ourselves amongst the returners. Amongst the returners. And Barrett gave us the idea that he wants to fucking beat the Empire.
Yeah. Stick to the Empire. But they feel they can't really do it without Terra's help. So, they're hoping Terra makes...
So instead of being a weapon for them, we're going to be a weapon for this.
Damn right, Matt. By the 5.
By the by, which really raises all sorts of ethical red flags. By the by, there's actually a trick here you could use to get the Genji glove.
Yeah, there's 2 ways, actually.
Yeah, because I think you're going to show off... I don't know why I think you're going to show off the former. Or the latter.
I'm going to show off the former.
Alright.
Because I want to show off every cutscene that I can. Anyway, so you can explore this place a bit, get some items here. A secret cavern to the right gives you a white cape, which prevents imp status. And I also believe prevents darkness, if I read that correctly. It also gives some pretty nifty boosts to your defenses. So that's if you don't really care about the status defenses, you can at least buff up your stats. Little tidbit here, and I never understood this. If you examine this side of the table here, you find a piece of paper. That's it. You can choose to leave it there, which changes the upcoming scene just slightly. But it has no effect on anything. It's just there. One of those little...
We want you to make up your own mind, but we'll block off gameplay until you fucking say yes.
We're the good guys. In our minds.
In our perspective. It's
Yeah.
Just, well, I don't know. I don't really buy all that too much, though, because, let's face it, it's either your own liberation or the Empire kills you all.
Terra, the Empire is evil! From my perspective, the Returners are evil!
Yeah, right.
So, in order to proceed, you have to talk to Bannon. If you decide to say yes, will you become his last ray of hope? He will, he'd be all jolly and all that, and he'll give you a relic called the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet allows you to use a weapon with 2 hands, because you need a relic to do that.
Right.
Which increases the physical strength of your regular attack. Unfortunately, with the Gauntlet, you can't have a sword and shield at the same time. You can only have your sword for 2 hands. However, if you reject Bannon twice, and head up to the cave and talk to that wandering soldier, he gives you the Genji glove to try and persuade you, which is a much better relic because that allows you to equip 2 weapons.
So you get 2 strikes.
You get 2 strikes, yes.
You go Artorigus on the motherfuckers.
Damn right. Really useful this early in the game. However, you can also get the Genji glove by rejecting Bannon 3 times.
Right.
But if you do that, you're not going to get...
He slaps you with the Genji glove.
It's like, maybe you need a little more convincing. Ding. Oh, it's the Genji glove. Ding. But if you reject Ganon... If you reject Bannon... if you reject
Bannon... Serious, Ganon.
If you reject Bannon 3 times, you don't get this cutscene where they're discussing a battle plan. What will happen is that Terra will walk slowly into the cave, she'll feel utterly hopeless, and then a collapsed soldier will walk into the place, and then we go into the second part of this cutscene.
Huh.
So yeah, as you saw earlier though, Bannon noticed that piece of paper that was on the floor. That only happens if you notice the piece of paper on the floor yourself. As far as I'm aware, it's just flavor text for the sake of humor. That's it. Unless, unless you can think of something the paper would say.
So basically, the only way we can hurt the Magitech armor is with magic ourselves.
Yes.
Smart defensive strategy, at least.
I mean, we'll do other... Yeah, I'm pretty sure... We got Sabin. Plan A, Terra. Plan B through Z, Sabin.
What the fuck? Says Sabin.
I just got here. So
Sir Bannon.
That's Bannondorf to you.
We see it later in his portrait, but Bannon is quite the hairy motherfucker.
Yeah, he really is.
Like hippie hairy.
Like he's part lion.
No, he's part hippie.
Uh-oh, the Empire's onto us.
How do they find us?
Someone's been tailing us, I guess. No, we did suck South Figaro dry. And they were annoyed by that. Yeah, we saw them. The fuckers went up Mount Kolts.
They died on their king. Oh, there's going to be a lot of beheadings. And a lot of widows.
Oh, ladies. Alright, well, we gotta make a getaway.
Getaway?
Getaway. We have no time to dilly-dally, shilly-shally.
Fuck you don't. Who rejected the call to action twice for a glove? Look at that motherfucker. He is part lion.
Alright, so we're making an escape to the Let River. How do you pronounce it? L-E-T-E.
Let.
I pronounce it as Let. I heard Leet River. So whatever. Anyway, we're making a getaway there. It's just south of the Returners' hideout. It's a raft sequence. And we have a bit of a stipulation here. Bannon's in our party now. Bannon is only good for one thing, healing. If you attempt to do anything else with him, you're doing it wrong. Bannon cannot die. If he dies, game over.
Really?
Yeah, because he has an extreme allergic reaction to Phoenix Downs.
I wonder how he feels about calamari.
I was there for the Phoenix Down incident of '86. We agree that Bannon is just no longer allowed to die after that.
Phoenix Down. I have this image of a phoenix falling to Earth in a meteoric impact.
If Bannon is put out of commission, your journey's over. So
now what a fucking crybaby.
Oh boy.
This is unique here. Now you fight nautiloids and exocytes.
Yeah.
Crabs and octopi.
All the enemies
the
here...
octopuses will blind you. It means jack shit because blind doesn't only affect Strago.
It doesn't really do anything. Gives you a nice pair of shades, though.
Yeah, it does. Oh,
with shades. Deal with it. So yeah, all but one type of enemy in this sequence is afraid of fire. Burn
him.
Burn him, yeah. Auto crossbow, Sabin should use blitzes, Bannon should heal. There's the enemy right there. The Pterodon. He's not afraid of fire.
He's not. He's he looks like a fucking dragon.
Yeah.
How out of place.
Magical world.
Gotcha. The only thing is with blitzes, I don't think you can completely control where it goes.
No, it's random what he chooses. That's the only crutch in quotes.
Ow!
But when a Pterodon's confused, he will do a fireball attack. Booyah.
Saves your time and energy.
Damn right. Really, the only risk you have with the Let River sequence, if you don't know the right way to go, is that you run out of magic for Terra to use. But that's really a non-issue because Edgar has auto crossbow, Sabin's blitzes, and Bannon's heal doesn't cost anything.
Right. By the way, I like I like how this cave looks. It reminds me of Final Fantasy VIII's Island Closest to Heaven, which was basically a huge spot full of nasty ass monsters.
Okay.
It's just the aesthetics, I guess. The pale cliffs and the greenery.
Yeah.
Also reminds me of Aquatic Ruin Zone.
So at times you are given a choice of which way you want to go. If you want to get through this sequence as fast as you possibly can, you choose left twice. I hit up there because my D-pad jammed.
I got lost here once. Terra power leveled.
You choose left twice to get to the sequence fast. If you choose up on the first fork, you take a longer way to get to the same destination. If you choose right, you loop. Here, if you choose up, you loop. Left is where you need to go.
So that means you just flick the light, no save, no heal?
No save, because I have things to do. I'm just that confident, damn it. Meteor?
And now you fight. I imagine at the end of this, the game just fucked up its coding. Insatiable humans. What? This is a place for wayward souls. What brought you here? What the fuck? Hello.
What? What is it?
It's a giant octopus.
Ultros.
Originally named Orthros, is one of Hercules' 12 labors.
Yeah.
By the way, whatchamacallit? They gave him a voice in 13-2, not what I was expecting.
But is it fitting?
It's alright.
I enjoy the fight.
I did too.
I
love
enjoy
that
the voice.
fight in 13-2.
I enjoy the voice. Yeah.
He was ultimately a synergist, but his partner Typhon, which I think is the only time I've ever had where I've beaten him, is in the game as the commando role.
Okay. So Ultros, just to put it in short, is an octopus with a mouth. Like
endearing too.
Verbal mouth, yeah. He's so charming, but he's also pretty dangerous. Delicious.
Yeah, that tentacle attack hurts.
Let me get my bib. That was a little more sexually provocative in the advanced translation.
Yeah.
Where he says a comment, depending on who he's going to use tentacle on. Delicious morsel. Let me get my bib. He's aiming at Terra. At advanced, it was more tentacle pornish sort of thing because he's kind of a lech as well.
Yeah, a perverted octopus. They reference that in 13-2 as well, except he crushes on Noel thinking he's a boy. Girl.
Yeah. Muscleheads hate him. That's a tentacle towards Sabin.
Yep.
I think that's it though, because after he targets Terra and Sabin, his next tentacle attack will hit all 4 characters.
There's also a Flan variation of him in Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
There's a reference about how you get to fight him at 6. He's a mark, I think, but he only shows up when you've got a party of all 3 women.
Yeah, like we said, lech. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but look at that goofy ass grin.
By the way, if you actually look at the full sprite later on, it looks really gross because it looks like his tentacles are coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
So how the hell does he eat?
Osmosis.
That's all, friends.
That's all, friends. You know, I really don't.
I would take some time. I think they're contemplating on what the hell they fought while Ben is springing a leak.
Oh no! Ultros just grabbed Terra's leg. No, that's okay. We can just pull her out. So anyway, battle strategies for Ultros. We really should have got into that earlier.
What's there to know? Let him on fire, heal when he does tentacle.
Yeah. Well, you can do fire. Terra does fire. Terra should only do fire until you run out of MP.
And Sabin just went after the fucking octopus.
Fuck yeah. gotta teach him some manners. Get him with the blitz. I didn't suplex him hard enough. Well, you can't suplex him at all, but whatever. Saving aura boats, Edgar, auto crossbows. Pretty much what you've been doing for the entire Elite River. Ultras is no different.
This is kind of stupid. Like, you just lost your best hard hitter because he decided to go after a fucking octopus and down the river?
Yeah. It's kind of like, it might be a very, 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 very obscure reference to the Popeye film.
Really?
Yeah.
So, David got swept downstream.
Yeah, and now we are splitting into 3 scenarios, and at the beginning of next part, we shall explore the scenarios, starting with Terra, Bannon, and Edgar.
But what about Mog?
What about Mug?